And Maurice, LaMarche. Keep it up. The more you clap, the less I have to work.
Thank you, Oaks, Valley Forge, Philadelphia area. When I take over the world, you shall be spared. In fact, you shall be my new capital.
These are the jokes, Oaks. Thank you.
Yes, wait till I get serious.
Yes. Oh, look! Weird Al Yankovic is working the camera.
You win the cosplay contest, my friend.
I just walked up to a lovely girl and asked her to beat it, and she did. She hit me in the face. No, thank you. This is, Brandon, look at this lovely lady. I have to be careful. You have a t-shirt
Oh,
up.
yes.
I didn't want
You have a bit of me on your shirt there. You may.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly,
I have that shirt, actually.
yeah, he does, and it's very brave. This is such a privilege.
And a pleasure.
And a pleasure. And it
It's
is
a pleasureage.
yeah, a pleasure.
Yes. A privilege.
This is your time, so you do what you feel is best, but it is really a blast for us to
Kyle,
Well, yes.
you have questions for us?
I do, but I have one question, and then we're going to get right to the audience. We
If
have
it's-
this
if
great
it's-
guy, Joe, here, who's going to run around with a
If
mic.
it's that you're wondering that if I'm pondering what you're pondering, the answer is no.
Well, perhaps you are, because I am pondering, I'm wondering
Yeah.
if today, Pinking the Brain, were to successfully take over the world, what would you change? You have a lot of supporters here who would help you. What would you change?
I would change almost everything.
What a great answer.
What would happen is that because I am a genius of intellect and my partner is a genius of kindness, we would rule the world with genius and kindness
Who's
instead
mine?
of what the hell's happening right now. What's the actual F?
Well said. Turns out I just opened my mouth to change feet.
Yes, after you've buttered them and then
After
go
I
to
buttered
an
my
arcade,
feet.
yes.
Don't knock it till you tried it. It's quite nothing.
Yeah, this is their time. If you have a question,
Oh man, this is the
put
best.
up and
Thank you, sir. Hi.
Hi. I'm blown away, first of all. One of my favorite episodes was with The Brain is in the recording booth. Famously,
Great story behind that.
kind of slowly losing his mind. And I know that was modeled after, famously, Orson Welles.
Yes, yes, it was.
At any point in doing that episode, was there a conversation of how many kids are going to get this when it comes out? Did it take you a while to appreciate
almost immediately. It was the first thing out of my mouth was, is anybody going to understand this? I mean, this is great for us, but
Very expensive in-joke.
yeah, it's an inside joke that cost about, probably $500,000 in today's dollars.
Yeah.
But what happened was that the joke got them because people began to pay attention to, the history and the etymology of how that cartoon came about. So people began, with the advent of YouTube, searching out celebrity outtakes. In the old days, it would just be something that we trade amongst ourselves. Engineers would pass along cassettes. Cassettes were these little tiny.
Cassette. C-A-S-S-E-T-T-E. Google it.
I'll wait. Go ahead. Yeah. So we would just pass, recording engineers knew I could love to collect this stuff, so they would pass these things to me. But Phil Proctor from the Firesign Theater actually gave me my first copy of it, and it was like I think it was New Year's Eve 1984, and I was listening to this thing back and forth for about a year, just listening to it in my car, and I just was fascinated with the level,
Brain's a lonely man.
the depth. I mean, we know Wells from his brilliant filmmaking. And
Transformers.
From his brilliant filmmaking and Transformers. Yes, it's actually on his gravestone. But when you catch a celebrity in the act, not to steal from Alan Funt, but in the act of being themselves, it's the most amazing thing because you get an insight into their dark side, their light side, their intellect, perhaps their ignorance. I don't know, but this frozen peas commercial that he made in England, just made the rounds through the voiceover community, and I locked it down and I started just doing it whenever there was a lull in the studio. I would just sit there and they go, mic check, and they go from one actor to the next actor. Maurice, we know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Do you really mean that? Yes, I'd start about half a second late. Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it? If you could make it almost when that shot disappears, I think it would make much more. I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July and I'll make cheese for you. So it became this whole thing where they literally would, thank you. And I kept waiting for them to shut me up and they always let me go right to the end. It's a 5-minute long outtake. I don't know if they were aghast or if they were, in awe. I have no idea. Maybe they were in awe aghast. I don't know. But I became known in the business for my ability to parrot this Orson Welles outtake tape. And then, so when they showed us the model sheets for these new characters that Steven Spielberg was coming out with after Tiny Toons, this new universe, Tiny Toons actors got first crack at the deal, and I had the very first audition of the day on the first day. And so I went in and I read for everything, by the way. I read for Yakko. It sucked. But I did see The Brain, and I thought they'd drawn an Orson Welles lap mouse for me. No, not at all.
And you know what? It wasn't hubris. I mean,
Yes, it was.
Yes.
No, it's completely not a hubris on my part.
With a small H, because everybody knows about that, and the producers did not think of that.
No.
That's what was so
Well, the thing is that, Brain is actually modeled, and anybody who wants to just literally Google the name Tom Minton on your phone right now. I'll keep talking, but you'll really get a kick out of seeing this. Tom Minton, M-I-N-T-O-N. He's the human being that Brain is modeled on.
It's
Pinky
really
is
remarkable.
modeled on Eddie Fitzgerald. But if you do that, if you take a look at it on your phone, you'll see where they got the idea for Pinky and the Brain. These two writers were partners, and one was extremely dour, and he just spoke at a complete monotone at all times, but he was also one of those people who knew every kind of fact there was, and never nerd, stuff like that. If I knew Tom Minton, I would have done that, because I really am not terribly original. I'm very derivative, and I would have just done that, and they would have gone next. Because I didn't know Minton, and I had this thing of, this is Orson Welles. They've drawn an Orson Welles lap mouse. Obviously, I'm going to give them what they want. I had the confidence, false confidence, but the confidence to think that this was my job.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and so I went in and read are you pondering what I'm pondering? And this is our plan for taking over the world. And actually, the original copy was much more villainous. Brain was much more dark in the audition copy than what ended up being the thing. So they went, oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. And they apparently cast me, Andrea Romano told me they cast me on the spot. She and Ruger just said, that's it, he's Brain, we don't need to hear anybody else. So other actors were coming and going, can I read for Brain? No. No. Mo is Brain. We already know Mo is Brain. Don't even bother, we've cast it. So and that was it. And of course, I found myself wondering who would play Pinky. I found out later on that our dear friend John Aston was actually, at the end of the first day, he was the hero take. But then the next day, this guy came in and had this genius idea to throw in every single British comic actor from the Carry On movies, from Python, from the Goons. I mean, this was your wheelhouse.
Totally.
We totally bonded over our love of British comedy,
Exactly.
but you really know that stuff. I'm just a Python head, and a little bit Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. And so by the end of that, we found our Pinky, and so.
We've got our
So right around, yeah, we got our Hitler. So right around, totally forgot about
See the
that.
producers.
It's in the producers. We're not being anti-Semitic, we promise.
It was made by a bunch of Jews, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I got
That takes the
that.
first south of everything, right?
That's right.
Wit is shit that funny is money.
Funny is money.
There you go. There's a story there, we'll get to it. So they decided to honor that and honor the Orson Welles thing. So around about episode 7 or so, they transcribed the frozen peas bit, took out all the swears, and injected references to cheese and that sort of thing. And it became that Yes Always, which we recorded that episode on a particularly sad day for me. I was burying a friend. But he was dead.
Almost.
I was. I didn't give. Believe me, I didn't give it anything to hear that from the coffin. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the brilliant and edgy comedian Sam Kinison. Yeah. So he was a dear friend of mine, and his funeral was the morning of the day we recorded Yes Always.
And Mo didn't know it.
And I didn't know that this was apparently a big surprise. They said, keep it under wraps, don't tell Mo. I'm Mo, by the way. Everybody calls me Mo in the business. So, you can call me Maurice. You can call me Mo. If you come up to my table, please call me Mo. It's my way of it's like, oh, I'm a regular guy. Because I was always that guy on the outside as a kid. First of all, I had that name, Maurice. Not really a kid name, you know. And, so...
It's taken you forever to become a regular guy in your dotage.
It's
He's
true. Yeah,
now a regular guy.
well,
Congratulations, Mo.
with the help of Miralax.
Yeah.
So that's the story of that day. So when I came in, I saw the script, and as soon as I saw Brain saying, "We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire," I cracked up. It changed my day because I was very sad, and I was like, "Why do they want me to work today?" I mean, I came in the suit that I went to the funeral in, and you know, it was just perfect, and I loved that episode. And now the world has caught on to the fun of celebrity outtakes because, you know. There's so many of them out there.
Great question. Thank you for that.
And I think I've taken up the entire panel. Good night, everybody.
Actually, it goes back there finding a new question, but just a quick thing. I heard some cell phone notes. Can you silence your cell phones, please? Because we don't want to.
Well, we're not the LA Philharmonic. I mean, it goes off, it goes off.
Have a not-so-serious question for Rob and then a serious question for Bo.
All right.
All right.
Rob, you were here a few years ago. You were not feeling so well. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. No, thank you. But what you're referring to is my throat cancer. Trust me, the cosmic irony of that left hand, you know, that curveball was not lost on me. I'm fine. You know, thank you. And thank you for asking, because it is specifically because I happened to get throat cancer. It turned out to be an enormous gift, and by that I mean, had I gotten toe cancer, it would have been, oh, what a drag, you can't kick a field goal. But you know, after having gotten through that treatment, it was pretty brutal, pretty onerous, and they, you're gonna love this, right at the front, when I was meeting the doctors who would put together this treatment regimen, I spoke to my radiation oncologist. I had chemo and radiation, so they radiated my neck and stuff for, I don't know, a couple months, whatever it was. Not continuously. Although I do have a special glow, don't I? But this is so great. My radiation oncologist was a guy named Dr. Henry Paulsen from Russia. And when he spoke, he sounded like Goldfinger. And Mo and I love the Bond movies, right? And so he comes in and he says, Mr. Paulsen, it's a pleasure to meet you. I have to tell you, my daughter, she loved the Pinky and the Brain. She really loved it. It's very kind of you to say hello. And he said, now, about your treatment. He says, I feel certain we can cure you. But before we do, we almost have to kill you. And I did that. I started laughing because it reminded me when Sean Connery in Goldfinger is on that slab with his face and the laser beam is coming right up to the family jewels there. And as Goldfinger leaves the room,
Man,
yeah, please.
you don't expect me to talk, do you?
No, Mr. Brain, I expect you to die. And so you see Dr. Yampolsky's point. His point was that, look, you make a living being joyful. And when I started to laugh, he became very sober. He said, don't lose that. This is going to be the most difficult thing you will ever go through, ever. It was very painful. You will lose lots of weight, you can't eat, you can't drink, all that stuff. But we will cure you. And you will be okay, but you have to keep up, And that sense of humor and the love of friends like Maurice, really, it made a huge difference. And now, as a result of that, though, I'm really grateful for you asking. Because now, as a result, I got to be the spokes-tune for the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance, a spot that was held by Jim Kelly, who, by the way, I know probably some Buffalo fans here too, but Jim Kelly, apart from being a Super Bowl, a whole 4-time Super Bowl runner-up, Hall of Famer, first ballot, has had throat and mouth cancer a couple, 3 times. A chunk of the roof of his mouth taken out. It came back, and that man, I had the pleasure of meeting him several times, utterly fearless, and never complained, not once. So that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. So I got to have the same gig. And now, when I'm able to chat with someone either on the phone or in person, and I say, I get it. I get it. And it is not because people who love us don't get it. We don't want them to get it. They just know that they don't know what else to say. So now I have a sense of empathy that I never would have had were it not for that experience. And so many of you come up to me and you've got my little book and you say the nicest things about that. Honest to God, you guys, this is, Mo and I have made a really lovely living doing essentially what got us in trouble in high school. but this is the best part of it now. When we get a chance to not only come and go everywhere, we have a job in which we go home exhausted from saying thank you. And honestly, it's impossible to quantify the love and kindness that you give all of us, irrespective of our cancer. It just is great. So thank you so much. Really.
Now, you said you had a non-serious question for Rob, and it was about cancer. So the serious question, I really want to hear this.
Well, now it's going to sound weird, but has there been any talk of spinning off Pinky and the Brain again?
We dare not hope for such luck. I mean, we were so lucky to come back in 2020. It was kind of the only good thing about 2020 was getting to redo Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs. And but I think I'm going to tell them.
Go ahead.
There was a Pinky and the Brain movie in development.
Yeah.
But it got Zaslaved right after they killed Wile E. Coyote, the Wile E. Coyote movie.
It's coming out next year, yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently, but the Pinky and the Brain film, they kiboshed it. They had a first draft, or maybe even a second draft, and they just
Petition.org.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would have been fun to do it again, and who knows? Maybe we will. You know, my fervent hope is that now that Peter Hastings has gotten himself quite a track
Yeah,
record
Dogman.
doing feature films, directing Dogman, he might have now the clout to go to Steven and go, let's make this as a cinematic adventure. You know, so he had some wonderful ideas, even back when we were doing the original series for what the show, what Pinky and the Brain's adventure should be. So who knows? We never give up hope. We never give up hope. We love these characters. They're characters that I believe could carry a film. You know, but not with Peter Dinklage and Russell Brand doing the voices. It has to be us, and
And you know what that comes from?
and I'll get spanked for saying that. Somebody will see this piece of tape on